like every one of you candidates, because if you look at these candidates, guests, they can impact gun control. The peace officers here can impact that. Our legislative representatives can impact that. Our governor can impact that. Our Democratic Party can put that on the agenda. So what I'm going to ask, and I don't know if we started from this end or that end, but we'll start at that end. What I'm going to ask is, how would you impact this cancer that is killing our country, known as gun control? And you have pardon? 30 seconds. Oh, wow.
Thank you. Deshandra Lockhart Jones, State Representative 109, D. Lockhart, Jones109.com. This is handled on the state level. We actually have introduced the bills because it has to do with access, ease of access, mentality. Are we checking to see what the mentality of the person is? There are a lot of different factors, as I mentioned about the shades of gray, that are to be considered because it impacts the entire home. It impacts the community. It even impacts the social justice, our criminal justice system. So we need to start with the laws, writing and introducing laws to help protect us right where we are. So we don't need to be afraid. You just need to get somebody up there like Deshandra Lockhart Jones who's willing to work with you and bring this under subjection. There are a lot of different factors involved here. So let's start at the state level with bringing some bills. Deshandra Lockhart Jones, State Representative, candidate 109.com.
And let's try to be specific candidates. I know gun control is a large, broad buzzword, but let's be a tad bit more specific to our audience because we have a very intelligent audience out here.
1 minute. That's hard to discuss in 1 minute because I've been a gun control advocate for a long time. Ever since Sandy Hook, Columbine, everything, I am a donating member of the Brady Center, as well as Moms Demand Action. First of all, I think we need to enforce what we have. What happened last week in Parkland, Florida, would not have happened if we had been enforcing the laws that we have in place. If the FBI had done their job, if the people in Las Vegas had done their job, we have too many people who have guns that have no business having them. And our children are dying. And we all need to step up to the plate. You don't think you can do something? You can write a letter to the editor. You can write to your congressman, your legislator, say, we need to enforce these laws. And yes, I've lived here in Texas all my adult life, but Texas has some crazy laws. And we need to get rid of those laws. And we need to elect more Democrats to the state legislature so we can do something.
Marilyn Mays, Dallas County Court of Criminal Appeals number 2. I represented a young man that was 17 years old. When he was arrested for murder, he had 32 AKs that he purchased off the street in the city of Lancaster. I believe that the laws on the books are not being enforced. How did a 17-year-old get 32 and they counted them all and used them against him, and the jury gave him 75 years and said, we're teaching South Dallas a lesson. I'm saying to you that we need gun control in my misdemeanor court because mine will be a misdemeanor bench. When people are arrested with those weapons, I'm going to advocate for keeping those weapons to be surrendered to the police department to be destroyed. Guns kill.
I agree with Judge Mays. Once the weapons are retrieved, I also want to make a point on we need to stop confusing mental illness with demonic possession.
Thank you.
We need to stop confusing mental illness with demonic possession. And I'm just a firm believer. We've all talked about our faith here. It starts at the house. Even the ones that are writing the laws need to have the heart to write the right law. And in order for gun control to actually be dealt with and be dealt with properly, the heart of the ones that are writing, the heart of the ones that are enforcing, the heart of the ones that is actually going for, the heart needs to be changed. And so once we stop labeling these demonic possessed actions as mental illness, we can get further with the gun law control.
Thank you, Shay. You took that right out of my mouth. City council, your mayor, your city manager. That's where it starts. In the public realm. But it comes out of a house. In our house. It's because why would a 17-year-old have that kind of guns? Where's the parents? Let us come back and work with each other. Let us knock on the door. If you're not there to raise your child, you come and help me raise the child. We need to stop it. And the only way we're going to stop it, we have to unify ourselves to work with each other. It's because touch somebody, save somebody. And that's where our children, I want to say I think for the youth that are here, because they need to hear this. My daughter is on city council because she helped make those policies.
First of all, we need to close the loopholes on private and gun shows. Okay, that's number one. There's enough laws on the book. We just have to properly enforce it. But there are always loopholes. And once we close those, we also need to ban the sale of things that modify the weapon. That's what turns it to automatic gunfire. Those things right there is what we need to do. So when you hear people advocating you're going to take away, liberal Democrats going to take away our Second Amendment rights, no, we're not trying to take away your Second Amendment rights. We're trying to make the community safer. And we can do that just by eliminating those few little minor things, which is basically tweaking the laws that are already there. That's how you fix it.
I'm not convinced that there's any one answer to getting rid of the guns and the violence, but I would change the language from gun control to gun elimination. Elimination. Why does anybody need an assault weapon? If you're not in war, in a war zone, why does anybody need that? The way judges can help with that is to ensure that the laws we have concerning confiscation and destruction of weapons are enforced. If a felon has the weapon, there's laws that says the weapon can be confiscated and destroyed. We need to be doing that. Additionally, I do not believe that violence should be glorified. There's too much "we love guns" on TV. That's right. Turn it off. The TV I'm talking about.
Carol Donovan, Dallas County Democratic Party Chair. You know, we need legislators that'll do the right thing. We need congressional leaders that will do the right thing. But you know what? Think about every movement we have ever experienced in this land. It starts with the bottom up. It starts with the grassroots. It starts with the people who tell their representatives, do the right thing. And look at what happened with Obamacare. When the Congress tried to eliminate Obamacare, we rose up, we had rallies, we had protests, we let those people know. All those people who represented them, we let them know. By golly, we are keeping Obamacare. And that's what we have to do with gun control. Assault rifles, out. Any modification to assault rifles, to make them assault rifles, out. Any legislator that takes money from the NRA, out.
As far as gun control goes, I think we have a great panelist of candidates who have the answer for gun control. But I want to speak to a different facet of that. What about those who legally possess weapons and those weapons are stolen? I deal with that on a daily basis, believe it or not. Like I say, I'm in Lancaster. I have a great working relationship with the Lancaster Police Department. And we have an astronomical amount of kids who take possession of these weapons. Either they bought it off the street, they stole it, or things of that nature. But one thing that I'm a firm believer in is that a gun owner should be responsible for the weapon that they have in their possession or the weapon that they purchase. I personally teach a class on gun safety and responsible gun ownership. You have to do certain things. You have to take certain protocols to make sure that you don't fall victim to having your firearm stolen and end up on the street and ended up killing your child or your family member. So responsible gun ownership.
I think the entire panel had a lot of good things to say. In each and every one, we can take something from each and every one. I will say, I'm a firearm instructor. So I see, when they pass the law, let me just go back. Local government, that's where it should start. And when you talk about Congress, you talk about legislators, you talk about the White House, it should start here. We need to make a difference and to educate our children. We need to educate our adults. We need to educate everyone about the gun law. I knew it was going to be OK Corral when they changed the handgun license around here. You knew that was coming. And now that our children are killing each other, is the world coming to an end? What is really going on? So that's where it needs to start with the local government. You can blame it on mental illness, doing a better background investigation. There's so many things that need to be done, but a difference needs to be made, and it needs to be made now.
Let me say, first of all, we are so appreciative of the fact that you've come out tonight. We would like to thank the candidates for just showing up and sharing with us your stance on various items and issues of the day. We trust that you've had an opportunity to listen and do your research, follow up, the election process in place. March 2nd ends open, early voting, and we encourage you. In fact, we insist that you vote. And please, your vehicles are large, perhaps. Take someone with you. But by all means, we do want you to vote. And we thank you again for coming out this evening. And again, to the candidates, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And we wish you Godspeed. Thank you.